Last time, my day was ruined by Slippy Mask and Cortex scratched his ass. We head off into the second world now, or time I should say, as every area in this game is located in another portion of time. In this case we find ourselves in the hazardous wastes of 2084, aka the future I have as long as Boris Johnson remains in control of our country. Upon landing, we bump into Engine, whose voice is absolutely poggers in this game.
Backstage pass for you to get up close and personal with my weapon of mass percussion.
So before we can rock and roll with the Djinn, we gotta get through Boris's wastelands first. That's a real grind, ain't it? Straight off the bat, we get to try out our newfound powers given to us by Lali Loney, the ability to phase parts of the world when necessary, with multiple buttons you can use to perform the phasing. Thinking of everyone in this situation, you'll love to see it. But not only will phasing change the world around you, but also unlock/lock crates for you as well. So when going for the full completion, which you shouldn't, you'll sometimes have to use Lani's powers to gain access to them. So what about the future itself? Well, anyone else getting any Megamix Mania vibes here? Because that's exactly what I was thinking of when going through these stages. A post-apocalyptic future where all remains is punk rock and for some reason desert sharks. Making its first appearance here are the Nitro crates. You touch them? No, of course you don't, because they'll kill you upon contact. Just make sure to spin the green coloured crate at the end of the stage to blow up all Nitro crates, since them along with the TNT crates count towards the counter. Grin? Jin, that's the last thing I did when I saw Desert Jaws make a cameo in this game. It's with this level where your grinding skills are put to the test more. Now you'll have to Han and Hun when necessary to avoid obstacles, as well as jump to avoid falling down gaps. Also, I'm pretty sure I forgot to mention this last time, but to break these steel enforced crates, you'll have to slam down onto them by pressing circle in the air. This is the only way to break them. I love the grinding sections, by the way, which is good because I'm probably going to end up hating them more the harder this game becomes. As for enemies, you've got these jetpack guys, which remind me of the drones from Ben 10 Protector of Earth for some reason, and giant babies on a sugar rush. So now with that done, let's go ahead and have a proper look at the hub world in this game, the dimensional map. It's basically a callback to the original Crash game where you'd have to go through all these different worlds, and to unlock the next one, you'd have to complete the one you're currently on. Oh come on Coco, it's not that bad. You should get a whiff of the good old pig shit smelling air of the UK first. Around this time of the game is where we get introduced to the flashback tapes. These things have a very cool concept. It's basically stages where Cortex was testing Crash and Coco's powers and creating them before the event of Crash 1. Now I, for one, haven't tried them yet, and probably never will. Listen, the game is hard enough as it is. I ain't wasting my time with that crap, but if you want to have a crack at them, just collect the tape in the level. Although, if you die in the level before reaching it, you won't be able to pick it up, so it kind of works as a reward for getting that far in the level without dying. I mean, you could have just given me a bag of mint Imperials and I would have actually grinned, Jin. We got these giant flamethrowers as obstacles now, so watch out for them. The stage definitely boosts up the tension at times, as you would expect when going through a platformer, and Crash is definitely a good example of a platformer where, if I die, it would be because of me, not because of the game. Trial and error, I say, you come back stronger when you fail for the first time. A pretty intense grinding section later and... Nah, that's the game's fault. It took me a good 5 deaths to figure out that you've actually got to slide into these big guys. Oh fuck, he had a name? He's actually relevant? Oh god, I'm so sorry, Frank. You were good, son. Maybe even the best. Second to the soldier, of course. Lali Loney is back to ruin my day, but again, there are examples of situations where I was to blame for my failures, not the game, but... Ah, jeez, this is my worst performance in the playthrough so far! Hit the road, Lally, I'm already sick of you. It's not your fault, bro, the fault is mine. Doesn't mean I can't hate you regardless, though, you know what I mean? The level begins with a pretty cool 2D section, filled with flamethrowers and booster pads, before going through a pretty intense obstacle course which I somehow made through without dying once, hence why I got the flashback tape. The bonus stage is centered around trying to not blow yourself up on the Nitro crates. Again, making use of the slide jump combo to get to crates placed higher up. Oh hell yeah, Frank is back! Back to the depths of hell for you, brother. I then proceeded to waste a good 10 to 15 minutes trying to get this golden Wumper crate without dying. Obviously you guys know the rest of the story here. It was tense after, using Lani's powers to avoid these huge walls of flames whilst on the ropes. Nonetheless, we make it to the end of the stage and keep that question mark Crash just made in mind for the next part of the series. But for now, we're gonna save our asses from this giant monster truck by running inside a ball. Okay, how are we supposed to pull this off? Easy as pie. Never doubted myself. This was a really cool chase sequence though, with plenty of jumps to land along the way, the biggest obstacle here being to avoid the water along the road which will slow you down upon contact. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the main event! We are personally invited to the Jin's performance. What's he got in mind for us?
Alright, all you bloodthirsty lunatics, put your freaky little hands together for Rocket Head! 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Since when did Engine become the coolest motherfucker in the series? So the Jin is going to try and defeat us with the power of rock and roll. To stop him, we're going to fling his fire-headed babies back at him to damage his giant speaker before platforming to the drums to damage the machine itself. The second and third phases is where things become difficult though, as Engine uses the power of Guitar Hero to try and take us down. I ended up getting the boot by this a few times. A good thing for most people though is that after dying, you'll be spawned back at the beginning of whatever phase of the boss fight you are on instead of the beginning. Something I can respect considering how bad I am at video games. The final level involves some pretty tensional platforming as the Guitar Hero waves continue to fire us, again like in phases 2 and 3. Or I should mention as well that you gotta use Liney's powers for platforming up to Engine in the later phases of the fight. But overall, I freaking loved this boss. So much creativity went into this, and sets a very good standard for future boss fights in the game.
My beautiful creation.
Okay, two things. One, if Jin ain't dead after that, then this dude ain't half human. Two, if these masks would just wake up, this adventure would be so much easier for us. Next time...